This is TWiT.
I found this interesting. There was one line in it that was particularly interesting. You probably saw this in the news. The Department of Justice seized phones from two attorneys involved in the January 6th probe. John Eastman, the Trump campaign legal advisor, Jeffrey Clark, the former Justice Department official who was supposed to become Attorney General. But this is where I found it interesting. They were iPhones. John Eastman claimed he left a restaurant on June 22nd, and federal agents confronted him, took his iPhone 12 Pro, then served him with a warrant, and then, quote, he was forced to provide biometric data to unlock the phone. Now, that stopped me right there in my tracks. I thought that was very interesting. First of all, the federal agents knew enough to not give him a moment to react. Take the phone first before you give him the warrant. And then, it's an iPhone 12, so I think what they probably did is say, hey, John, look here.
Look, yeah.
Is this your phone? And then it unlocked, and then they probably had a Celebrate tool or something similar, plugged it in, sucked all the data out of it. Now, of course, they kept the phone. It's interesting for a couple of reasons. One, January 6th was a while ago, like a year and a half ago. They still think there's something on that phone that's worth. A judge obviously did. He wouldn't have signed the warrant.
Yeah. Well, before we move on, I don't think it was look at is this your phone, because they didn't say they tricked him into.
No, I think they compelled him. I think they forced him.
Forced.
So they stood on sat on his chest, and the two people grabbed his ears, and who knows? I mean, what does that mean? Forced? I mean, that's just
that's his language. Remember that.
I mean, look, they probably told him, and this is my guess. My guess is that they probably told him, if you do not use your phone to use your face to unlock this, we will arrest you. This is what I'm guessing happened. I mean, I don't know, but I'm guessing that that's how they compelled him to do it. Versus with other biometric stuff like your fingerprint, or your password rather, like they can't force you to give them the passcode.
Well, and that's where this gets really interesting. So the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution protects you against unreasonable search and seizure, and the Fifth Amendment protects you against incriminating yourself. Mm-hmm. And this is where courts have gone, by the way, in two different directions. But in general, the gist is biometrics is not self-incrimination. Putting your fingerprint on a fingerprint reader or your face in the Face ID is not self-incrimination, where giving a passcode would be.
This is why everyone should learn the quick presses that you need to do to unlock your phone.
The double tap.
John Gruber had a piece in Daring Fireball saying, hey, by the way, just so you don't know, here's how you can lock your phone real quick before the Fed sees it.
I mean, I did that before. I do that when I'm in the airport. Like I absolutely do that, right? Because I don't, and I've been doing that for years because I don't want to be in that situation. I will say, and I'm only being a little bit flippant here, but it would be nice if a constitutional law scholar, we can question many of his other things, but it would be nice if a constitutional law scholar would have maybe declined to unlock his phone and actually force this issue. Like, I'm sorry, but like Eastman is a constitutional law scholar. This would have been
business. He teaches it.
To be completely candid, like putting it how you feel about his other like credentials aside, I don't really care. I don't agree with him on many things, but it seems like this was a really missed opportunity for what could have been a really, interesting legal case especially by someone with his credentials, if he had just basically said, no, I'm not going to unlock my phone. Like, I don't know. If it were me, I would like to think I would go to jail. To me, I would like to say, and I can't say this definitively, I've not been in this situation. I don't want to be in this situation. But to me, I would like to think that I would spend a night in jail.
He may have felt like that would look like incriminating behavior. I don't know. Yeah. Like he had something to hide. I have to think.
Constitutional law scholar. I don't know.
Yeah, I have to think a year and a half after January 6th, if there is still something on that phone, I'd be shocked. What could be on there? I mean, I would think he would have. I mean, maybe he didn't think it. Maybe he says I didn't do anything wrong, so I'm not going to wipe my phone. I'll keep all those texts.
Evidence of witness intimidation?
Yeah, maybe because that's recent, right?
Yeah.
That's recent.
The question is, Yeah, none of these people, I mean, not these people meaning, the Trump officials, but nobody in government and nobody above a certain age, just about, is very clever with this data at all. You keep hearing these cases where people, they didn't wipe anything. They didn't, they're posting pictures with GPS coordinates. So you want the raw data because it's often just right there.
John Gruber, a week ago.
Have we learned nothing from the mafia? I mean, genuinely.
Well, I remember
the mob is good about this stuff, right? I mean, it's like this is. I
remember talking to some Secret Service agents, many years ago, who said it's not a big deal. They almost always give us the password. It's like crooks. Like, yeah, fine, whatever. They're not. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, just in case you don't know. And there, by the way, again, there have been courts that have ruled that you have to give that password. Who was it? Was in jail for 2 years for contempt because he didn't unlock his hard drive. He was a accused child molester, and he apparently thought there was something on that drive he didn't want law enforcement to see. Law enforcement thought there was something on the drive they wanted to see. He refused to give his encryption password up. Spent some time in jail. He's out of jail, but never did unlock. But he was imprisoned for not giving up the password, and the courts at the time said that is not self-incrimination, and it had something to do with whether the police knew that information was on there or it was a phishing expedition.
Oh, I see.
So it's
either way, it's a shorter sentence for sure.
Yeah, 2 years, much easier.
Child pornography on there. Yeah.
So the theory is, and Gruber's theory is. What do you do? You tap this twice? I can't even remember now. You can make it so that it's not. Yeah, I think
Yeah, you just hit the button twice,
and then it will go into a mode where you have to enter the passcode to get in. And the theory is now you've protected it because the Fourth Amendment or the Fifth Amendment prevents them from forcing you to give them the passcode, whereas the courts have ruled it is not incriminating to get your Face ID.
Here's what it is. Here's what it is. If you're on like one of the newer phones, you press the lower volume button and then the side button at the same time. Until you're gonna feel a feedback. Like if you've got the vibration.
So you can have it in your pocket.
Vibration feedback.
This is what Gruber says. Exactly. You don't have to look at it.
Nope.
You just have it in your pocket. You go, here come the federal officers. You press the 2 and then it buzzes, and now it says slide to turn off. It doesn't matter what you do. You're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to do the passcode to get back into that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So you have it enabled. It's just basically these two buttons, and then
if you are an unindicted co-conspirator in the January 6th insurrection, you might want to make a note of that.
Or to quote the famous XKCD strip, just someone brings up a wrench at you, and that's how you get the password. You're dealing with criminals or governments that don't believe in the.
Well, that's true. It's not going to work unless the rule of law is rock solid.
Exactly. If you were in, the January 6th people, you don't need to get their phone. They posted the evidence.
Right. I was going to say they live streamed it. Like in many cases, they were literally live streaming it. So
they were taking videos and posting them. Okay. John says, never, ever hand your phone to a cop or anyone vaguely cop-like the rent-a-cops working for the TSA. If they tell you you must refuse, they can and will lie to you about this. Mm-hmm. If you really need to hand it over, they'll take it from you. And they won't get anything from it because you've already hard-locked it. And you cannot be required to give them your passcode. That really is kind of a little bit of a optimistic point of view. Like they're going to have me in airport jail, and you can't require me to give you my passcode. Well, here's a wrench. Here's your head. Would you like the two to have a meeting?
Yeah, and then that's when they unplug the video camera in the interrogation.
Exactly. Somehow Anyway, I reading this article, that caught my eye because he said they forced me to unlock the phone, to give them biometric information. I thought that was very interesting. You're right, Christina. Here's a constitutional lawyer. Why did he do so?
Although weirdly, the warrant, I'm looking again here at this is from the CNN article here. The warrant said that they couldn't force him to give up biometric information. So he's claiming they did. And
that's why he's saying
it voluntarily.
Now I get it.
So then that could be the fruit of the poisoned tree.
There you go. So he knows what he's doing. Yeah. He is using his constitutional noggin.
And there may be a great deal of exaggeration. I mean, Rudy Giuliani said he was assaulted.
I know.
And somebody,
this is true.
I had a whole conversation. My kids were laughing at Rudy Giuliani being hit, and I was like, "Look, he's an old man. He's clearly not in good health. He's not a well-being." Somebody came up, and then I saw the footage. I'm like, "Oh no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I apologize. I didn't mean to be a hard-in. I just don't want you to laugh at an old man being hit. I don't agree with the
You're like, I'm very sorry.
No one should be touched without their permission. I believe in bodily autonomy, but I'm like, all right, the guy just touched in the back and said, "Scumbag." It's all right. I'm sorry.
Beat me up.